No, just steak. Just meat stuck in my throat.
Oh God, I botched it. Damn it.
Yeah, we can take it from the top.
Yeah, let's
Okay, one more.
Lucas,
Re-up.
snap. Isometric exercise.
La 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 la.
That was very worth it.
They're coming for the children! They're coming for the house! Hide the women!
At the back door!
What?
I think that's Anchorman 2, right? Or is that Anchorman 1? I don't even remember.
2, I think. Maybe it was okay. So I think it was outtakes in Anchorman 1, and that was obviously so hilarious that they made it a regular thing in Anchorman 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The official Harmontown documentary classic. What is it? Pedophilia is an option if you have the gumption.
Wow. Fuck Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Yeah.
God
That was a
damn.
pretty golden, just rift moment.
You know what? No, there's no better intro than that. We're going to have a lot of great riffs on episode 130 of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, coming to you on February 8th, 2021. On the podcast today, we have a man whose jawline is as strong as Muhammad if we were allowed to know what Muhammad's jawline looked like. Ryan Holtz.
Yeah. Muhammad probably has a really weak jawline. No offense.
Oh,
That's you can't say that and then say no offense.
No offense.
I mean, look, they're the one. There might be a reason pictures aren't allowed. You know?
Muhammad was a pedophile.
Yeah.
I don't even understand how that's not just facts. That's just in scripture that he was marrying underage girls. I'm not being offensive. I'm not even making a value judgment on when I say that. I'm just merely stating a fact that it was literally written down that he married multiple underage girls. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing even. You can say it's a bad thing yourself, but it is literally in scripture.
Yeah. So
I don't know what the offense is there.
Not to call out the Quran specifically, there's a lot of weird stuff and a lot of biblical text.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not just
No.
Like don't get me for an Islamophobe. Like
The Bible.
their religion is not particularly bad. Like all the other ones are. Like basically, yeah, every Abrahamic religion's got really problematic shit just in scripture, and you can't. I won't even make a value judgment. I'll just leave it to you to say that it's a bad thing.
The Christian Bible glorifies incestuous rape, and not in the way you would expect. But it's in there.
In an order that might surprise you.
The Christian scripture made a point of telling everyone how bad pedophiles were, and then some point later, someone said, "Ooh, I don't like how they talk shit about pedophiles. What if we just change that word to mean gay?"
Yeah. Well, it's almost like a group of disconnected old men might have written these words, and their values probably didn't align perfectly. Who could have guessed that there'd be weird contradictions like that?
Also on the
Oh yeah, that was the intro.
Yeah. We're a third of the way through this. Also on the podcast today, we have a man with the patience of the Holy Buddha, Andrew Clark.
As opposed to the unholy Buddha.
Can
you imagine?
Y'all don't want to fuck with the unholy
Wait,
Buddha.
it's just Fat Bastard from
Jesus.
Austin Powers. He's the unholy Buddha. It's literally him.
Yeah. You know?
Oh my God.
Kinda. Yeah.
Did we just make a discovery? Jesus Christ. Or the Buddha... What's Buddha's last name? Does Buddha have a last name?
I don't believe Buddha has a last name.
It's a mononym.
Isn't there someone named... Or there's like the big fat dude is not Buddha. It's someone who like represents Buddha who was a real person.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm not well enough versed on all this. What is the Buddha statue's real person? Let's find this. Ooh, mummified monk inside ancient Buddha statue. I think I've heard of Budai. It's Budai. A semi-historical Chinese monk who is the fat guy.
Yeah, no, Buddha is not the fat guy. Fat guy is not the Buddha.
But they're nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're conflated.
Yeah, they're pretty. Yeah, he's referred to as the fat Buddha, especially in the Western world.
And let me tell you, with someone with a great deal of patience, I can deal with people conflating me with the fat man. At least for now.
I don't know what that was referencing. I feel like I missed something here.
That wasn't a reference.
Oh. I thought that there was something very specific that happened.
I am the Buddha. I'm very patient. I can deal with people thinking that I am the fat guy, but I can only deal with it for so long.
I mean, Buddhists are Zen. I don't know if they're particularly known for being like, that they'll put up with things and be super patient and everything. Like, I guess you could kind of draw a parallel there. I think Buddhists would throw down if they need to. Have you ever not gotten in a fight, but gotten in a shoving match with someone who's
with a Buddha?
Yeah, with someone who's overweight. Like, fuck, man, I don't know. You don't want to mess around with that.
Yeah, you want to use your reach.
I mean,
there.
it's physics.
Yeah,
it's physics.
It's literally physics. And the sheer amount of muscle mass that you have to maintain just to like do normal everyday activities, let alone anything like remotely physical. Like, Jack Black might be one of the most athletic human beings alive. For that dude to be that agile at his size, did you guys see? He had a recent video where he was like Thor. Oh my god, dude. I don't understand who that guy is. I don't understand how in the world he's able to do what he does at like 50 years old.
Jack Black has a lot going on.
Yeah. Actually, he might be older than 50, huh?
I think he's 50 and change,
No. My God.
But
I mean, so yeah.
He's got gray hair. He's got just full
and a gray
ass
beard.
Gray hair.
Look up, I don't know how you'd find it, Jack Black Thor. It's a weird-ass video of him doing Jack Black things, dressed as Thor, wearing, like a one-piece mankini.
The new god of thunder.
Yeah. It's pretty great, and he's going crazy in it. He's legitimately...
bike.
Yeah. He's legitimately overwhelmingly athletic for his size.
Jack Black, better athlete than Tom Brady, confirmed. Last but not...
He is, though! Tom Brady's a shitty athlete.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure
Tom
we'll
Brady
get into it.
isn't an athlete. He's not an athlete.
We're going to get into it.
I commented that on The Athletic today. They're like, is Tom Brady the greatest athlete of all time? And it was just me and 5,000 other people. He's not a fucking athlete! He is someone's dad.
Is he the greatest person to have played sports of all time? I don't know. You can make a debate. Greatest athlete is such a fucking misnomer.
Right.
You have to actually be athletic to be the greatest athlete.
He has the slowest 40-yard dash for a quarterback ever.
I don't know if that's true, but
I think
it was
he does.
very slow. Dude, there's been so many 40-yard dashes. It wouldn't shock me if it's not the literal slowest. But yeah, anyway. Lucas, what's your intro?
Last but not least, I am Lucas DeRuyter. Within the narrative of this podcast, I died last week and now have risen again. Jesus Christ is a punk ass. And here I am.
You're compatriots with Jesus Christ. Why are you debasing him? You and him are in a very exclusive club. It's like you, him, Lazarus. Who else is left?
Yeah, and you think he'd be cool with it, but he stuck me and Lazarus with a check one time. Went out for drinks, thought we were going to have a cool weekend, but then it got awkward when he just bailed and left us with the bill.
Damn.
Yeah.
We were friends, and then Jesus banged my girlfriend.
I mean,
I should have been more suspicious.
Now Lucas has it out for him.
Yeah, I should have been more suspicious when the Tinder profile said Mary and that she liked to have her feet washed.
I mean, look, okay, I talked it.
Getting real.
I talked it.
I think I'm getting into real shit here. I need to be careful.
I talked it out with her. It's fine. She didn't realize he and I were friends. He was a client of hers. Like, we worked that out. She and I did. Jesus and I, that's still weird.
I ain't gonna have no Da Vinci Code girlfriend.
Oh no, we're getting into some weird places already. A lot of sacrilege in the first 10 minutes of a podcast.
And Jesus has a sense of humor. He's cool with it.
Jesus would be cool with it. That's the ironic part.
Yeah.
It's his followers that won't. Jesus absolutely would be cool with that. That's like his whole thing. Like, meanwhile, his followers are the ones that would just literally kidnap you and hang you from a tree.
Oh my God, is that... Okay, first thought, the Jesus Christ fandom is the worst fandom. Second thought, is that a...
Well, there's some competitors here.
Yeah, Lucas, have you ever heard of anime?
On occasion.
Have you ever heard of the teachings of Jim Jones?
Oh, okay. That's also up there.
I want you to know that I came across an anime meme a week or two ago, and I thought it was harmless. I'm like, this meme is funny. I don't understand the reference, but it seems funny. And then YouTube suggested one or two anime meme videos to me that were edited. I'm like, this is fun. And now all of my YouTube suggestions are just Gamergate shit.
Yeah, you gotta curate that.
It took like 4 videos for that to happen.
You've gotta curate that. Lucas is victim blaming Andrew.
I'm blaming
dude,
you,
I don't know what the fuck you were thinking. You gotta be careful about clicking recommended videos.
Andrew, if you got into the fandom and you didn't know what you were coming across, that's on you. Okay. No, I'm sorry you're being recommended Gamergate shit. Just do what I do and say don't recommend this channel to me whenever those come up.
I didn't even know that was an option.
Doesn't it make you want to examine just a little? Literally like just scratch the surface with that fingernail. Just like, what does that mean?
No.
What do I have here? And I think, you did eventually have that walk where you really considered everything that you were choosing to consume content-wise.
I have to be very careful what anime fan content I choose to consume because it's not even a rabbit hole. It is like it is just a pit. It's just immediately.
Yeah. It's the whole goddamn crater.
That Venn diagram is a circle.
Almost.
Yeah, you're the one person not included in the circle.
It's an almost perfect circle, and then you can see there's a slight shade.
Yeah, just one. You can't even really see it, but it looks like the line is extra thick, and you're like, why is that line thick on that side?
You can't see the color on the outside of the Venn diagram. The border is too thick, but you know it's there.
You know there's something weird on that.
It's like when scientists can tell that there's a planet in orbit around a different star. They can't see it, but they can tell because of the gravity.
Yeah. Can measure the effects. Yeah, that's basically it.
I'll be the first to admit there are problems with the anime fandom.
And every fandom.
Yeah.
But some more than others. We're not. I'm not going to be enlightened centrist about this shit. Like we can say that there's levels to everyone.
There are pros and cons to everything. And the anime pros happen to just be also sometimes the cons.
That reminds me of the Veep. I think her character's name was Karen or something, and she literally couldn't ever say anything of any worth. Like, she was brought on to be an advisor, but all she ever did was just be like, that is a tough decision. I mean, there's pros and cons, and just not say anything. Like, that was her whole thing, was that she would just never make a decision or give any advice, because it was always just bringing up that every decision has its. Oh, and then at one point, one of the characters blows up on her, just like, I think that every decision has demerits or has merits and demerits, and I can't even decide. And that's exactly what that reminds me of, and what all of enlightened centrism reminds me of.
We'll fucking get to it. But my fucking one of my breakouts. I watched the movie The Death of Stalin by director Armando Iannucci, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. And then I found out after I watched the movie that he is that director and that he also directed a lot of Veep. So that made sense in retrospect.
I knew that name sounded familiar, and I didn't know why. And it's because, and this is going to be really name droppy and shitty, but when I was working at the Emmys, one of my weird tasks that I had to do as a production assistant was learn all of the nominees specifically and like what they looked like, specifically the writers and directors, because they had no idea what they would look like. Like people can name celebrities, like the actors and actresses, but writers and directors, they would have no idea. So for like the red carpet special, it was my job to be in the trailer and be one of the spotters who would like tell the graphics team who the fuck that was that's walking, so that they could make up a quick graphic and throw up their name and be like, oh, this is Armando Iannucci from Veep. And yeah, he was nominated for director in a comedy series that year, and that's why I was like, Armando Iannucci, that sounds really familiar. And yeah, and I probably could pick him out of a lineup if you gave me like 4 or 5 guys. I could pick which one he was, because I had flashcards that had a picture on one side and then a name on the other, and I memorized it like college studying. It was great.
Yes, I can confirm that is Armando Iannucci. Oh, hey, fantastic, thanks. All right, take the shot.
Yeah, we don't want HBO to win all the awards this year again. Like, we're gonna thin the herd a little bit. No, that's basically it though. But yeah, for like a little bit more of a benevolent purpose. Like literally 5 people, and like 4 of them probably didn't have any formal experience in doing any of this sort of thing, and one of them being the actual official spotter. And then we would all just kind of go like, "Is that?" Blah, blah, blah. And then we would start Googling pictures of that person to confirm. And that was what I did for like 3 hours directly before the Emmy. It was actually
Hey, Ryan,
really
is that Armando Iannucci? Yeah, I think it is. All right, gray suit, blue shirt, brown shoes. Just the bag goes over his head.
No, that would have been some dark shit. But yeah, at the same time, I think my colleague who was also PAing with me was like just walking around the red carpet and like bumping elbows with celebrities and shit. And I was like, okay, I mean, you got the more glamorous job. I thought my job was cool until I read about what the fuck you were doing during those 3 hours.
Yeah, it turns out my job was to have sex with Jennifer Lawrence and then Natalie Dormer.
My job was to not step on Salma Hayek's dress. God damn it.
That's a tall task.
Yeah.
All right,
I see that we're talking about news of the week, but do we talk about the Super Bowl? Is that the?
I mean, we might as well
kickoff?
open. We might as well open with this in news of the week. Super Bowl happened. Fucking here we go. Guaranteed that for the rest of our lifetimes, every sports pundit is going to be sucking Tom Brady's dick.
As they should be, though. Like he's.
Wow.
You can't help but be like, Jesus Christ, what has this man done?
Is he one of the most successful people to ever play football? Absolutely.
He is the most successful person.
Are people
that much you can't argue?
Are people making head-ass takes like, well, you could make an argument that Tom Brady should be like the first and second best football player of all time? The first decade of his career, number 1, second decade, number 2.
Yeah.
And that's horseshit.
Not best. I feel like most takes that I've seen don't call him the best, because if you look at his stats, he's not inherently the best. But yeah, when you say greatest, you're definitely invoking a little bit more. And by the way, wins aren't a QB stat. They never have been. But
people still treat it like it is.
Well, because
people act like Tom Brady was the one that went out there and made Patrick Mahomes run around for his life.
Yeah, but just in the Super Bowl, Tom Brady also played in the rest of the games. I don't know, man. He's quarterback far and away has the largest impact. I would argue that quarterback has approaching the impact on the game of football of all the other positions combined. Mm-hmm. I'm not afraid to say. I think quarterback probably about 40% of what makes a good football team is a good quarterback. You can overcome it through insane ability at the other 22 positions, but at the end of the day, you really need at least someone competent there. And if you have someone good, you're on another plane. So that is why it's more of it matters more for quarterbacks than any other position. No one's like, oh wow, this random wide receiver that won 4 Super Bowls is great. Because I mean, you just have such a negligible impact. So.
But still, I would say that on the teams that Tom Brady has been on, Tom Brady has been one of the less impactful players. I'm not going to say Tom Brady doesn't matter. You look at last night's Super Bowl. I know you guys didn't watch it. Literally over half of his yards and all of his touchdowns came off of dump-offs to, and I mean like literal dump-offs, it was Gronkowski standing out in the flat, catching the ball, and then bulldozing at, way too old to be as productive as he is, just bulldozing over three dudes.
Gronk and Kelsey are the same age.
Are they really? Oh my God.
Gronk's not that old. He just aged quickly because he got hurt a lot. And then this whole season he was basically a run blocker until the playoffs, where they were like, all right, let's unleash
Release
you.
the Gronk.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, I think that's definitely a thing that surprises you when you hear that stat first. Also, Gronk has been in the league a lot longer because Kelsey redshirted and Gronk came out after 3 years.
Andrew, I did watch the game until it turned into a blowout in halfway through the third quarter. But no, I would agree that I feel like Gronk won that game more so than Brady. Or
Gronk and Leonard Fournette. And Leonard Fournette.
No.
Yes.
No single player on the Tampa. Well, okay, maybe you can make an argument for like a defensive player. Once again, I didn't watch the game, but I promise you, no single player had more of an impact on the Bucs' offense than Tom Brady.
Actually,
it's impossible.
Actually, now
that's the way the sport of football is played.
Now that that's come out of my mouth, I would make the argument that the Tampa defense won that game.
Oh, of course.
No, they did. They
unit
absolutely
of Tampa Bay's
did.
defense can absolutely have more of an impact than Tom Brady. One single player, it's just going to be almost impossible. That's just the sport of football. Like, that's the way it's played.
Yeah.
His quarterback is just so ridiculously important that the other positions just don't add up. It would be almost impossible. Maybe a running back. If a running back
I was going to say, you didn't
If a running back went
Leonard
off for
Fournette out there.
250 yards and 4 touchdowns, that's about it. What was Leonard Fournette's end stat line? That's what I would love to see.
Super Bowl.
I'd be shocked if he ran for over 100 yards. Granted,
No, he didn't run for over 100 yards. He ran for
There's
like
no
90.
way then.
Okay, so he ran for 89 yards and a touchdown and 46 yards receiving. He was the second leading receiver. And I'm telling you, again, literally all of his yards were him just winning. It was Tom Brady dumped it off to him and he bulldozed the entire defense.
Yeah, that's scheme though. Like, you can't hate it. Just because Tom Brady didn't do well doesn't mean that, or didn't single-handedly throw a ball in a picture-perfect position to like score a touchdown doesn't mean that he didn't have tremendous impact on the game. Like, for all you know, he literally checked all of those plays at the line of scrimmage to lead to those points. Like, we will never know that. And like, if you listen to Bruce Arians' interviews, like, he literally says, "I let Tom coach," which obviously is tongue in cheek, but like, to a certain extent, Bruce Arians is letting Tom Brady like have a huge impact in how they're calling the plays here. So.
And I'm not going to say that Tom Brady is bad or was bad. I think that the second half of this season and the playoffs, Tom Brady played as well as I've ever seen him play. I think that for Tom Brady to be playing,
there was that one Randy Moss season where he was just
as well as I've seen him play.
That's fair.
That was before my time.
Yeah, that's fair.
That
was like right at the beginning of my time, and I just remember, oh my God, him to Randy Moss was just a nightmare.
That wasn't fair. And also, Tom Brady has been a very good quarterback at certain times. Tom Brady has been an elite quarterback in terms of how he plays, but the last 7 or 8 seasons, Tom Brady, except for I would say this season, Tom Brady hasn't really worked to be the quarterback that everyone claims that he is. And I think he did pretty well this season. He didn't do anything in this Super Bowl.
7 or 8 seems extreme to me. I'd give you 3 or 4. 7 or 8 seems like you're getting. I'm sure
he's been around for a while.
I know. He's been
7 or 8 seasons ago is a small percentage of his.
It's like a third of his career.
Andrew,
even in Tom Brady's career, that's a third of it.
I will agree that Tom Brady played as good as I've ever witnessed in this Super Bowl lead up those games, which included 3 interceptions in the game against the Packers. At his best, right there. Peak Tom Brady.
In the first half of that game, he was really good.
Remember when you forgot what down it was? Remember when you lost a game because he didn't know it was 4th down?
Tom Brady. Remember it, and guess what he did anyway? Went out and won a goddamn Super Bowl again. Like, it's just... It's irrelevant. And yeah,
there are tallies on both sides of this T-chart is all I'm saying.
I hate Tom Brady so much. You guys don't understand. I am literally fucking what's his first name? We're another Anchorman reference. I'm Mantooth. What's his first name though? It's played by Vince Vaughn. Dorothy Mantooth is his mom's name because I remember him going, Dorothy Mantooth is a saint. You hear me? She's a saint. But yeah. Anyway, him about to like throw Ron Burgundy off the ladder and instead kissing him on the forehead and saying, "But God damn it, do I respect you?" Like. At this point, you just can't do anything else than respect the fucking unbelievable accomplishments. As much as you can be angry.
Wes Mantooth. It's Wes Mantooth.
Wes!
Yeah.
Wes Mantooth, okay. I agree with you, Ryan. And I think that we've all established we've done this in the podcast before because we buy into we need to talk about Tom Brady, and we've talked about Tom Brady in this podcast many times before, and it makes me angry. That being said, yes, Tom Brady has accomplished more than any quarterback ever has and almost certainly ever will.
Any player ever has or almost certainly ever will. Any
that being said,
ever has ever will.
I don't have to just hate Tom Brady as a player. I hate Tom Brady as a person.
Yeah,
I
really hate him more as a person
Brady.
than as a player. As a player, my hatred for him is based on his success. It's not based on like his gameplay at all. I respect his gameplay, which I feel like you don't, Andrew. But for me, I just hate him because I ain't him. Like that's the reason I hate his playing like style and everything. I really don't like him as a human being.
Right.
I think he's
I saw a tweet yesterday that said, "I bet Tom Brady doesn't know his helmet says end racism."
That's like, that's a thing. He has absolutely like tenuous ties to Donald Trump and like that whole thing.
And again, like it's a different kind of racism. We all know that Tom Brady isn't out there thinking like, man, I really hope that the whites take over and the black people are enslaved again. No, Tom Brady is just super casually racist and doesn't understand it, and almost certainly said some horrible shit to Tyrann Mathieu last night, and chased him across the field. And it is, you can't say it's not a white privilege thing. Tom Brady, after a touchdown, chased Tyrann Mathieu across the field, got in his face, pushed him around a little bit, and then Tyrann Mathieu got flagged for not disorderly conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, yeah. And he was like, but
no,
what?
That's literal white privilege at play.
Yeah.
If that happens to a black player, then they probably get tossed from the game. Like, it's... And quarterback privilege and a million, like there's a lot of privileges at play.
It's a ton
here.
of things.
And GOAT privilege and
I'm also increasingly confident that once Tom Brady does retire, he's going to immediately start a Gwyneth Paltrow level grift of fitness supplements and a bunch of other shit.
But he already has.
He's
That's
worth
what the
$500 million.
Because he's so far in that Kool-Aid, man.
No, but that's the thing. It's not a debate. We can't say whether he is or shouldn't or why or won't. He already has done that. Tom Brady is a psychopath who is peddling snake oil.
But so is Russell Wilson. So is Drew
Yes,
Brees.
he is too. And we don't like any of those people.
That's true.
Drew Brees is a racist.
Aaron Rodgers
Russell Wilson's a fucking
tiptoe.
heretic. And Aaron Rodgers gives me strong libertarian.
He's starting to tiptoe down the like health and wellness path, which is where that leads.
And he's big friends with Dave Portnoy, and he tweets a lot about how politicians are pedophiles, and like we know what he's getting into. He retweets Russell Okung saying all that shit about like, man, they're locking us down because they don't want us to know the truth and all that shit. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is probably not the best dude. He probably has bad opinions, but he's at least nice and funny.
Okay, funny's going to be subjective.
But
there's a lot of
Aaron
really
Rodgers,
bad funny people.
But also, Aaron Rodgers has never, ever once given me any sort of inkling of has any ties to racism in any sort of way. And I could be wrong.
Yeah, but there's plenty of bad things. Like, racism is automatically like, yeah, you're a bad person, but like, just because you're not racist doesn't mean you're like not overwhelmingly a bad person. I don't know. I think Aaron Rodgers is definitely more private than a lot of those guys in the first place, like leading to a lot of rumors such as like the whole gay thing and everything, which he's now
engaged to Shailene Woodley.
After less than a year, he tied that one down. So I don't know, man. It's some shit if the Buccaneers would have lost to the football team because Devin White and Vita Vea were out, who knows, man? We might be talking about Aaron Rodgers lifting his second Lombardi trophy.
Fuck.
But instead, we just get to be depressed again.
Do we want to?
I think the Buccaneers were uniquely equipped to handle the Chiefs, but at the same time, the Chiefs literally did not have an offensive line, so I think we could have taken advantage of that too.
Yeah, no, our edge rushing absolutely could have as well. I think, who knows if we would have been able to game plan as well, because obviously, like, Todd Bowles, well, not a great head coach when he was with the Jets, which once again, we all know the Jets are a failure of an organization at this point, has at least proven himself to be a more competent defensive coordinator than Pettin. And Bruce Arians obviously has a great pedigree for offense, so who knows if we would have been able to game plan as well as the Buccaneers did. At the very least, I feel like everyone can now say that the Packers would have been competitive in that game. So yeah, depression. And honestly, I would hate it and it would hurt, but if we lost a competitive Super Bowl, I guess I wouldn't be as upset as losing a competitive NFC Championship game again. At least we went. God.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's my last hot take about the Super Bowl, because Jesus Christ, we're a half hour into this already. Boring game. Not a good Super Bowl. Ryan, you were right to skip it.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that I would be wrong about my own instincts.
I'm not joking. I literally heard the Weeknd's intro music, went out into the living room and watched the Weeknd's halftime show. Then they went out, and I saw the score. I saw it was 21-9 or whatever, and I was like, I guess I now know the score, and went back into my room and did not watch a single second, not a single play. The only plays that I've seen have been Patrick Mahomes' insane throws, like his 360 no-scope throw, and his one where he was literally parallel
horizontal
to the ground, which
he dove across the ground like he was John Wick and launched the ball through the sky. And both of them
and hit his receiver in the face mask.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Both
and
just
the first
fucking
one,
dropped.
the 360 no-scope was a pass interference that they didn't call.
Fuck.
So.
And his interception literally just bounced off the hands of his receiver and just somehow landed in the... bounced a long ways. I don't know if you saw his interception, but it looked like it hit a fucking trampoline. It bounced off the dude's hands. He was it was a contested catch. The guy underneath him was but it bounced off his hands and went back a solid 10 yards.
It's
at least. And then
it's the tip drill, baby.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was my favorite drill in all of football, is the tip drill, where you literally, the first person is a dummy receiver and intentionally volleyball sets the ball up in a random direction and shit, and then the person behind them has to try to make an adjustment to catch the ball, basically. It's a very fun drill. I don't know if it's that effective, but it was fun for all of us.
In the Super Bowl game, apparently.
It worked out.
All right, let us talk about some video games while we wallow in our football misery. Not even Google is making games for Google Stadia anymore.
The failure we all saw coming.
Oh, no.
God. Was this announced after we started the podcast? I think it was. I feel like I remember us talking about...
What, Stadia?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Stadia, is not that old of an idea.
Yeah. I feel like I remember us talking about it and, being, lukewarm about, we'll see. If they can deliver on what they're promising, then maybe. Mm-hmm. And then more and more details coming out. It's going to be oh, this is not going to work, huh? And now here we are. It's basically dead.
Google couldn't sell video games during a pandemic.
Yeah. Google couldn't sell, Fuck. Never mind.
All right.
I had a good tech joke somewhere in there, and I couldn't quite execute in the time allotted. So I bailed, and I'm not thinking about it anymore.
You're fine.
There's a dude who is making an indie game that I think a lot of people are excited about. I know nothing about it. I don't know any of this dude's politics, but it's called Terraria. Yeah. And it was going to come to the Google Stadia.
I've never heard of Terraria?
And he recently got his YouTube account banned, so he pulled the support for Google Stadia in retribution. He said, "I won't be doing business with you. It's a liability."
So,
I don't know what his account got banned for.
Maybe it's just because I'm a Minecraft idiot, but like Terraria is a big game, right?
Terraria is
right?
is kind of the Minecraft killer, not really though, but also like.
But it was popular,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it still has a following. The way when Andrew was introing it, I thought it was just like some puny like no-namer. I was like, wait, Terraria, that's a big game.
Well, no, I meant to frame that as it's an indie game. So this dude that
so is
made
Minecraft,
it,
though.
Yeah, well, I know.
I don't know. Does Minecraft technically count if Microsoft bought it, but like it was 100% developed as an indie game?
Yeah, it was an indie developed game, and now it is.
But now it is being developed by a non-independent studio. So how does that work?
Minecraft.
It's weird
I don't
because
care.
well, we don't think about ongoing games a lot of times when we're talking about development. Like ongoing titles, even though now they have their own award in the Game Awards, it does kind of break a lot of the traditional like setup for a lot of these things.
When most games release an alpha stage now.
Minecraft literally did. Minecraft, I don't know that they set the blueprint, but they definitely popularized it at the very least, of just dropping a game when it was blatantly just an idea and then slowly working on it as more and more people bought it.
It's the idea of we don't make less money on this thing for not having it done. So why don't we just get it done enough so that people will buy it, because they will then buy the whole price of the thing. We make as much money as we want. And then if we want people to stick around, then we'll support it and turn it into a games as service.
Well, and I will say with Minecraft, like I said, it was just an idea. Like none of the shit that it ended up being was even remotely in alpha. Like, and it wasn't like, oh, we'll complete, this small portion of the game and then promise you, oh, there'll be more. They were just like, here's a game. It works as a game. It's pretty bare bones. Buy it if you want, and like maybe we'll make it better. And then it just started snowballing. More and more ideas were added as it became ridiculously popular, and now it's so bloated that I don't even recognize a lot of the shit that's going on in it. It's similar to Fortnite in that sense, but like my and also Minecraft did a cool thing where it was cheaper when it was in beta.
Oh,
like they only charged you $15 when it was in early access, and then you got the full version when they released the full version. That's now $30. So
rad.
That I feel like less people would be upset about that model if more people adopted that, where you just get it at a discount if you buy it early.
Right.
So,
no,
just paying $60 for just a completely unfinished pile of trash. If you paid $15 and then got a $60 AAA version potentially down the road, I feel like people would be a lot more cool with that model. It's like investing. It stonks.
Speaking of unfinished piles of trash, at least this first thing, I actually...
Tom Brady.
I actually think the second one might be pretty good. According to Adam Conover, Nintendo canceled that Legend of Zelda show that was supposed to be a Netflix thing. And apparently a College Humor Star Fox project, because Netflix leaked the Zelda project back in 2015.
Damn.
I don't understand why they canceled it because they leaked it, though. Are there things I don't understand going on here?
I mean...
Netflix leaked the date, and then Nintendo was pissed off that Netflix leaked some shit that they shared with them in confidence, and the relationship, basically. And I'm sure there was international like sensitivities there, where it's like we trusted another country's company with some very sensitive information.
I thought it was like, okay, we leaked the shit on purpose. Oh man, now we have to cancel it ourselves.
Oh no, this was Nintendo pulling the plug. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Gotcha.
Also,
Interesting.
Brendan Lee Mulligan, if you are listening, if you start a Star Fox-based D&D campaign, I will watch that. I will support that. I know you probably don't know what Star Fox is, but I'm down.
I want
Brendan
them to
Lee
do
Mulligan doesn't. He's got some nerd.
So
cred,
he was on one of College Humor's game shows, and he was asked a question: "Who are Sonic's two best friends?" And he was kind of like, "So when I was a kid, I just read Lord of the Rings under a tree."
Maybe not then.
Yeah, no, kind of a blind spot for him.
Is it Tails and Knuckles?
It is Tails and Knuckles.
Okay,
yes.
So I guess I'm somehow passing it, even though I know I've never played a single Sonic game.
Yep.
I guess I've gotten enough Funhouse bullshit to know it. But yeah, no, I guess that's the line between geek and nerd, right? So he's more geeky than nerdy.
It all seems
Geeky is
arbitrary.
better.
Wow.
I'm going out on a limb, baby.
Geek. Okay.
As a geek and a nerd, geeks are better.
Oh my god. Is this 2012 fucking internet forums? Jesus Christ. Okay.
Everyone's treating their fucking personality traits like they're divergent classes. And it's like, man, we gotta separate this shit out.
Did you just I'm sorry, Divergent the book series, or where are you going?
I haven't read it, but I have seen the trailer for the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Brennan Lee Mulligan min-maxed into geek. I had more of a balanced character build of geek, nerd, athlete. Like
that was the nerdiest thing you've said in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you just dipped heavily into the nerd side.
These waters run deep, baby. I gained a lot of XP in all of these categories.
Can we not do this?
Oh god. This is why you'll never find Ryan in a pottery class.
Andrew, I'll put you in more video game terms that you can realize. I'm like a Madden player. You know, they have like quarterbacks have strong arm, scrambler, improviser, and field general.
You're acting like Madden is the first video game I played.
Madden is the
I
first
just got into Madden.
Field general sounds like a literal Fire Emblem class. That's just a fantasy term.
Yeah, field general is not a super common football term. I've heard it in reference to quarterbacks before, but it's such it's kind of an ethereal concept.
Yeah.
I guess it's just like it's kind of the Tom Brady factor. Or Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's a much better example. Peyton Manning is the field general. Peyton Manning, like literally in Madden, when you used to play Peyton Manning in like Madden 08, literally he would run the play clock down to 1 second every single time when you played against him as the computer. Because they programmed him to make 1 million audibles and adjustments as though he was real-life Peyton Manning, because that's what real-life Peyton Manning did. So it was really annoying because games against him took twice as long as other quarterbacks. Other quarterbacks would just like hurry to the line and snap the ball and run the play. Peyton Manning would literally just like do shit for like 40 seconds, and it was so frustrating.
Peyton Manning saw those route lines in his head.
Yeah.
Like he was fucking Sherlock Holmes in his little mind palace.
Like he was Beth Harmon in Queen's Gambit. We're culturally relevant.
Oh, hashtag Queen's Gambit.
Yes, we watch current stuff.
Activision brought down the ban hammer on 60,000 Warzone accounts for cheating.
I have a fun anecdote about this. I don't know why I have things that apply to every single one of these concepts.
Get in there.
I played Warzone for the first time with one of my friends from high school who recently had a baby.
Aww.
So he had been obviously taking a lot of time off to deal with that. And
like you do.
Yeah. So when I first logged on, I got a message that said like, "Ooh, thank you for your report. Like you are helping our community get better. Like we are happy to report that your report led to a player getting banned and everything like that as a part of this wave." So I told him about it. I was like, "Oh, that was cool." I got a message that said like we got, like someone that I reported got banned because, we'd run into a fuck ton of cheaters that were obviously aimbotting when they killed us, and we would report them, and then nothing would happen, and we didn't know. So I got the message, told him about it, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't get that." Everything was quiet for like 10 seconds, and he was like, "Wait, they've been doing that this whole time? Like, they've been sending you a message when they banned someone? Because we've banned dozens of people over the last year. Or we've reported dozens of people over the last year. And this is the first time that they've banned one of those people."
Jesus Christ.
That was a bit of a realization, because I thought it was cool at first, and then I was like, yeah, wait, you're right. Like, that's really sad if that's the first time one of our reports got banned.
Oh, no.
Yeah, until then we'd been living in blissful ignorance that, like, maybe some shit was happening behind the scenes and they just wouldn't tell us. Now we know they tell you. It was just not being done. So, I think it's kind of a drop in the bucket. Rough.
Next up, longtime editor-in-chief Stephen Totillo leaves Kotaku. Riley MacLeod, longtime editor and trans man, is now the head of editorial aspects of the website.
I want to say that name is definitely pronounced McLeod.
I think it's McLeod.
McClap? Fuck me. I've only ever seen it written.
Well, but it's capitalized. That's fair. Never mind.
It is a capital L. I'm sure that was written correctly.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
definitely-
like Mac. Like, it's like a Scottish.
Ah.
McLeod instead of MacLeod.
Okay, don't laugh. That's mean.
Wow.
I was being diplomatic until Andrew fucking started laughing.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. It's
we just
just a
bullies
funny,
now?
It's a funny pronunciation. Okay, don't say it's not. It is funny. I'm not trying
It's
to make
not
fun
that
of Lucas.
funny.
That
It's
is
not.
funny.
Wow.
It's funny to say words wrong. It is. You can't say it's not. We decided like 6 weeks ago that nothing will ever make 69 not funny.
Andrew put some skill points into the bully class. I see.
I'm just going to move on and let Andrew stew in this one. Warner Bros. Patents the Nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, that game that I stopped playing.
Yeah, and also didn't they steal that from a different game? I
thought so, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, this is not their original concept, and they still were able to patent it.
No. Fuck.
That's cool.
Yeah. Fuck.
Dumb.
Shit. Great. And then in television, they finally did the thing in WandaVision. X-Men are here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of a mix of the group chat and news. I think this is enough of like news in the industry, both film and TV, because of the potential impact it has for copyrights and the MCU and shit.
To you,
Yeah, the
Ryan.
goddamn X-Men are here.
Yeah, to you, Ryan, and all of our listeners. The Quicksilver from the X-Men movies just showed up in WandaVision and is her brother.
Yeah, the
But not the Quicksilver from the MCU.
Age of
No,
Ultron.
he's still dead.
No. Yeah, he's dead. They
That's kind of cool.
Right?
You know, it is. It was a super cool fucking moment because spoiler alert, the story here is that Wanda has made a TV show out of her grief because Vision is dead, brought Vision back to life, took over a town, and is just changing reality to fit what she wants. And so she started talking about how sad she was her brother was dead, and the fucking Quicksilver from the X-Men movies knocked on the door, and the people watching the show said, and I quote, they recast him.
Wait, so
Or no,
is he not the
she
actor
recast
from
him.
the original X-Men?
No, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It's Quicksilver from Days of Future Past.
I don't know who's the actor that plays him.
And also Apocalypse
is he
or whatever
famous?
that other one was. He's been working a while. I think Quicksilver is definitely his biggest role.
Days of Future Past.
Actor.
See him.
But then
Evan Peters.
Oh, I remember this dude.
Yeah.
Wasn't he a bad guy?
what?
Oh, Quicksilver
No.
was kind of a bad guy in the MCU too, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he was a bad guy in the X-Men movies. He was kind of a bad guy in the MCU.
I thought he was a bad guy in the X-Men movies. Or who am I thinking of? There's another character like him. They did a shot in one of the X-Men movies with a character who would he moved so fast that he would zip around and fuck shit up. It was in the White House or the US Capitol. I didn't watch any of the movies. I just saw this.
Yeah, no,
scene.
that was Quicksilver.
Yeah, wasn't he a bad guy in that?
Well, they're saying
No, 'cause
kind of.
I think they were going after the person who was pretending to be the president. I don't
Well,
remember.
Ryan,
It was a
okay,
long
so
time ago.
do you define bad as in goes against the wishes of the U.S. government, or bad as in makes morally poor choices?
I don't know. It depends. All I saw was the United States, some very important, like the Oval Office of the White House or some shit, a bunch of cops and government agents seemingly just doing their job, and Quicksilver fucking them up.
Yep.
I saw the whole scene because it was a cool cinematic scene. And then I just assumed, Quicksilver must be the bad guy. But apparently no. Apparently he's the good guy, even though he was fucking shit. He was not being
didn't
a
kill
good
him.
guy and
He
saving
didn't
the
kill
day.
him.
Okay.
But he was listening to Pink Floyd while he was doing it. What a likable scamp.
Yeah, exactly. He was not doing good guy shit. So maybe he was the good guy, but then that definitely falls on the filmmakers that an unbiased viewer who has not seen the context assumes that he's the bad guy. maybe you gotta reanalyze the way you're portraying these characters.
Of course, me just saying that now, yeah, of course they would bring all of the X-Men stuff into this, starting with Quicksilver, the one of two things people actually liked from the X-Men movies, and considering
What was the other one?
Wolverine, but considering even Disney doesn't have enough money to make Hugh Jackman do Wolverine again, it makes sense it would go with Quicksilver.
Can you imagine?
Like Jean Grey.
Oh,
Jean Spray. Oh my god.
That's from a Funhouse video. I was 50-50, and then the minute I said Spray, I was like, no, that's definitely the joke one. Fuck.
Can you imagine if they set that episode up with like, man, I miss my brother, wish he wasn't dead and shit like that, and then they open up the door and Hugh Jackman's there?
I've seen that meme going around, man.
But yeah, no, they used the context of this show to just merge the universes.
It's so comic book.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Like it, right?
I love it. I thought it was fantastic.
I thought it was watch awesome. It because I promised, but like it's cool.
Yeah.
You can break promises, Ryan. You don't have to be proud. You
don't
have
I
to
don't
be
want
proud.
to break the promise.
No, that's okay, but you sound like you do.
No, I can acknowledge that this thing sounds really cool. And then bring up the fact that, yeah, I'll never watch it, both because I said I'm done with the MCU and think it's all just a jaded cash grab, and because,
So, no, you don't have to watch any more Marvel shit, but then also, Ryan, I know you are a student and somebody working in television right now. Academically, this might be a fun one to check out because they go hard on nailing just every aspect of these period TV shows. It's really incredible and really interesting, in my humble opinion. But, yeah.
It's a great time. It's super fun, but it's also, like, super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the way this storyline and blend of genres is playing out in a way of like, haha, this is a sitcom and everything is objectively funny and you're terrified the whole time.
Yeah. No, it sounds like a fascinating concept for a series. And you know what? It's cool whenever someone's able to actually do comic book shit without it being just awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like when they're actually able to do a reference or something that actually seems cool. That's literally what comic books do all the fucking time, is that type of shit where they're like, oh, that's not the Quicksilver, that's from blah 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 blah. and it feels like Deadpool is coming then.
Bring it.
Oh, absolutely.
That shit'll have nuts in it.
Bring it. Last but not least in news, Bandai Namco is trying to tear the Giantess kink community apart.
No. Bandai Namco, you're so progressive.
What did they make again?
They technically didn't make anything,
Vampires.
but they published Dark Souls, which has a giant lady in it. Just like Resident Evil 8, except she is much bigger.
You know, technically, we did it first.
Yeah.
So they're what? They're trying to get Bandai Namco stands?
I guess. I don't know.
Say, like, play our game instead of this
I think they were
game?
just trying to get some clout.
Yeah.
Just clout chasing.
Getting clout. They're saying Nintendo did it earlier with the Great Fairy in some Zelda game.
Yeah. And, you know, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, Bandai Namco, we don't have to pit these characters against each other. This community was given so much between Resident Evil 8 and Bowser being even bigger now. Why you gotta start fights?
They should join forces.
They would be
all the big women.
I thought it was the Giantess kink community. You just mentioned a giant. Bowser. Bowser's not a giantess unless you think Bowsette is canon. It was confirmed not canon, Lucas. As much as you liked it.
The greatest meme of the decade.
As much as you liked it, it was confirmed by them to be not canon.
There was concept art of Bowser possessing Princess Peach in the Super Mario Odyssey art book. Things are happening.
Is this Clegane Bowl for the Nintendo fans that I'm not aware of?
Which means it's going to be extremely disappointing when it actually happens.
It wasn't that
Ew.
disappointing. It was the whole season. Clegane Bowl's fight was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just the whole season.
It was ruined by everything else.
Yeah, it was in a state. Everyone was in a state of depression that even Clegane Bowl didn't matter. Like,
No.
It's like when your family goes on the long road trip and everything goes shitty on the way, and you meet your shitty uncle, and you kill your grandma, and you end up at Wally World, and you don't want to go on the rides anyway.
What?
wait, Wally? That's Walmart.
That was a family vacation reference.
What?
Wally World. Isn't it
Isn't
Wally
that
World?
Walmart?
No, I mean, yes, but Wally World is also the name of the theme park at Family Vacation that they go to.
It's been a long time.
I don't think I've seen the first Family Vacation movie. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Moving on from that, no. It's obviously been long enough for me that I thought I was like, then you go to Walmart and there's rides.
We'll call this one even.
Walmart does have those little like toy,
Yeah.
like they just rock back and forth cars or whatever.
I can assure you that was not the reference I was making, but as one previously stated, moving on.
That would be disappointing.
Do we have any memes?
The memes.
There's been plenty of Super Bowl memes, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
been a lot
the
of
weekend
weekend
going
memes.
through that tunnel thing, the maze. That one instantly became a meme, and everyone knew it. It became a meme that it was going to be a meme.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of people just said like Facebook
potential.
tomorrow morning, and it's like
Yeah.
me trying to find the clitoris, me trying to figure out what day it is, me trying to blah blah blah.
You
blah,
came
blah,
in
blah.
with the hottest one
Yeah.
off the bat.
That's got to be
understated.
comedy works in threes. You start with tame, and that would have been your clincher. Not to punch up your script, Andrew. Because that's what.
Hey,
you're
I'm
doing.
always working on it. Got to try out new material every single day. See what
I think
sticks.
the one that I saw was a dude who filmed himself with like a Steadicam, and like it was like jostling around, like, and then it would cut back to the weekend, like grabbing the camera, and he's like trying to like steal it back from him, and it was actually really well done. Like the movements lined up really well as it cut back and forth between them. So
That's
that
the
was the
meme
best one I saw.
inside the meme.
Yeah.
All right, then. I believe we are headed into the breakouts.
Breaking them so we can break out. Breaking them so we can break out. Breaking them so we can break out. Breaking out.
I beat Yacht Club's latest game, Cyber Shadow, and I'm thrilled that I never have to play it again.
You didn't have to play any of it.
I mean, I did though, because I got
Wait, just stop. Isn't this our podcast in essence? Lucas saying he did something and he hated it. Andrew saying you didn't have to do that. And Lucas saying, but what if I did? And then arguments. Like, isn't that
No,
our
you
podcast?
can't show the viewers behind the curtain, Ryan.
Well, once again, I just made a reference to scripts, but like, I feel like I know where we are in the script.
yeah.
Oh, I've seen this one. It's a classic.
So, the way the last third of this game works is that levels are so difficult that you basically have to figure out how to no damage speed run the first half of it just so you have enough health to survive the back half of it.
That's kind of Hades.
A little bit. Hades is more
And
fun
you love
though.
that one.
I love Hades. Hades has
Didn't this come first?
good writing, and no, Cyber Shadow came out last week actually.
What am I confusing it with? I don't know.
Shovel Knight? Tell us about Yacht Club.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Or some other cyber game.
A
lot of games with cyber in the title.
What if instead of ninjas, Cyber Shadow had punks in it or something like that? Has the game done that before?
Shadows.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games with shadow in the title.
Okay,
too.
most video game, and fuck it, most media titles involve just smashing 2 to 4 cool sounding words together, even if it doesn't really mean anything, and then building off of that.
You think that people come up with the title first and then say, what does that mean? And then they
Hey,
make a
you,
game?
you saw 7 Psychopaths.
No, they didn't title it Seven Psychopaths before they wrote a movie about 7 psychopaths.
No,
That
but
wasn't even about
the
7 psychopaths.
That's the plot within the movie, is that this dude
Yeah.
comes up with the name 7 Psychopaths. He's like, that sounds like a cool name, and then has
Yeah,
to try to
that's
find a
right.
story after that.
No, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But once again, I was thinking of the exterior movie. The writers of the real movie 7 Psychopaths and Martin McDonagh didn't do that, unless they did, which would be fucking amazing. You imagine if Martin McDonagh just like took peyote out in the desert and said 7 Psychopaths, that's a cool title for a movie, and then they did do that? Like, that'd be fucking amazing. I would like that movie even more than I already do, which is a lot. It's one of my favorite movies ever.
One last thing I'll say about Cyber Shadow is that it's my understanding this is made mostly by one guy, which that's really impressive by itself. I am somebody who I put 10 to 15 hours into a personal video essay project, and I am just done with it by the time I hit publish. The amount of time this dude had to have put into this game is phenomenal. That being said, maybe should have let other people make a couple of passes at this. There's just some confusing stuff that I feel an editor might have been able to fix and resolve early on. One of them being, this is a video game where if you land on spikes, you die. Except for some spikes that are kind of purple colored, but then not the spikes that are a slightly different purple color. Yeah.
This sounds like it's going back to qualifiers for me, which I think I have a particular gripe with in video games. Of like, yeah, oh wow, this was all made by one dude. Can you believe it? Isn't it so good for being made by one dude? And it's like, yeah, but I want to play a good video game. I don't want to play a game that is good for having been made by one dude. Just like I don't want to play a game that was good in 1996. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. It's not good for me if I were to play it right now with no context. So, yeah, I don't think there's that much merit to it being an objectively good game just because there's like, oh, this qualifier. Well, you have to put it in context. And it's like, but what if I just want to play a good game?
No, like
then I'm going to not do that.
And unfortunately I cannot recommend this game without any qualifiers, but for a game that was made by...
I can applaud him. I can say that's cool and recognize it. Same with old games. I can be like, that game was really important. Would it be good if I played it right now? Probably not. Yeah. That's really cool that that one guy made that whole game. And I'm sure that there's people that do enjoy it and think that it's an objectively good game, even if it were made by multiple people. But maybe it's not.
Yeah.
And like talent singing competition shows where it's like, oh, wow, look how talented she is for being 10. And it's like, but it's a talent competition. And this person who is one of the greatest singers I've ever heard in my entire life is objectively better than her just because she's 10. You're letting her win, and that's dumb.
Big Spunky Brewster energy there. All right, I have one more. So before we get to that, Ryan, what are you checking out?
Madden.
Yeah.
The newest development in the soap opera that is Madden is Jalen Hurts broke his collarbone
and played
last week, which was no, you cannot play through that.
Well, but like he could be brought
throw
back
with his
in.
left hand.
Yeah, he's week 15. It was week 15 that the injury happened, so it's basically the end of the season, or maybe in week 16. So he's basically done for the year. So I'm now going to my backup quarterback, who I drafted in the 6th round in our very first draft that me and Andrew did, so 3 years ago. He's not the worst quarterback in the NFL. He's not good. He's going to be the worst quarterback I will have played with. He's worse than RG3 and Colin Kaepernick. So then I was like, well, if he's done for the year, I do need a backup. And I looked through the backups and I was like, no one here particularly inspiring. I think the best one was like No, it wasn't Drew Lock. It was like Nick Mullins, I think. So I was like, well, I don't really want to do that. So I did something unconventional that I knew would make Andrew mad. And I'd be lying if I said it wasn't part of the reason I did it. I went to wide receivers and I sorted by throw power. And wouldn't you know it, towards the top of the list, Green Bay Packers legend Randall Cobb, who was the quarterback when he played college football for Kentucky, was available on the free agent.
He was beautiful, and you ruined him.
So I thought to myself, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. And I managed to muster the guts to sign him and switch his position to quarterback. And he is now a 38 overall quarterback.
On the Detroit Lions.
One of the worst players in the league. But he is left-handed, and there has not been a left-handed quarterback in the NFL for over a decade now. So I am actually doing a thing here. And if he does see minutes, which I'm guaranteeing that I will sub him in for at least a drive in our regular season finale, just to see how bad it is.
Yeah.
If it's really bad, I might have to reconsider. But,
So,
yeah.
Forgive my Madden ignorance, but it's my understanding that, especially for a quarterback, if you are good enough at playing Madden, you can kind of overcome middling stats for a quarterback.
He's not middling.
Oh.
But I would say the problem.
He's bad. He's very
With
bad.
my backup, yeah, I'm assuming I'm just going to continue to win. I don't know. Maybe Andrew surprises me. Like, that first half of our last game was really competitive. And, yeah, if Andrew puts things together and my guy makes a couple of mistakes, Andrew might be able to start playing from ahead. And he's never been able to do that. So if Andrew's able to play from ahead, who fucking knows? Like, we might be in brand new territory here, and he might beat me. But barring that, I think I'd still be able to run the table with my backup, like against CPU opponents. With Randall Cobb, he's not middling. I think he's got like 33 deep accuracy, like, which is basically he's never gonna throw an accurate deep ball once. Like, he would have to get remarkably lucky. So he if I keep
choosing him because of his throw power at wide receiver and then not being able to throw deep. Yeah, okay.
It was literally like throw power is the most like I feel like you're gonna have a usable-ish player if you sort by throw power because it's the accuracies are all over the place and everything like that, and there might be a quarterback who's good at deep accuracy and everything like that. And then by the way, he wasn't the best throw power of all the wide receivers. He was the second best. But I saw Randall Cobb and I was like, I gotta do it. So Randall Cobb will be making his quarterback debut in the NFL at the age of 33 after almost certainly being destined for retirement at the end of the season because no team wanted him. And I can't fucking wait. So that's the new development.
Meanwhile, my rookie quarterback has thrown, I haven't checked in a little bit, but I'm guessing it's probably almost 40 picks. And like 30 touchdowns, and the announcers keep talking about how impressive he is each week. And every time he throws an interception,
Wait, Andrew,
they say, hey, come on, after the year he's having, you gotta give him at least one.
Andrew, you have Tom Brady as a quarterback in Madden? What?
Jalen Hurts, meanwhile, threw for 70 before his season was cut a game and a half short. He threw for 70 touchdowns in 14 and a half games, shattering Colin Kaepernick's record of 61, which shattered Peyton Manning's record of 55. So that's fun.
Conceptually, I love that you kept this man from retiring just to embarrass himself, Ryan.
He might not. I might be like... The other thing is, the reason I went to wide receivers is because there weren't any quarterbacks with impressive running stats that were available as free agents. So I wanted to be able to run the read option, which involves a lot of quarterback running and shit. I might be able to scheme properly with him. I don't know. The only time I've done this with an out-of-position quarterback was a 52 overall tight end who played quarterback for Buffalo last year in my All-Madden franchise. Did not go well. So, with All-Pro, also though in my All-Madden franchise, they were all rookie linemen. I have a better O-line than that. And on All-Pro, who knows?
I mean...
That's why I'm going to test him against the CPU here.
they will never expect the quarterback to break the line every single play. They just won't see it coming. You bamboozle them.
No, exactly. I'm going to run 4 verticals, which will clear out all the wide receivers, and then just run.
Yeah.
I do it against Andrew at least 4 times a game.
Jesus.
And there's nothing I can do about it.
Yes, there is. You just don't do it. Of course there's something you can physically do to stop it. Otherwise, Madden would just be that at the upper levels of competition.
Andrew, what are you checking out that's not Madden? Unless you had a really good Madden story. I'm sorry.
I'm playing... No, I don't have a really good Madden story. Unfortunately, I am just... Mostly, I'm winning in my Madden League. A couple of close games where they definitely shouldn't have been close. But anyway, I'm playing Control Ultimate Edition. Because Control is a game that I wanted to play for a long time and never made the time for it. And
also, you physically couldn't on a base model PlayStation 4 by the sound of it.
That's a thing, is that you just couldn't play it on the base PlayStation 4. You had to play it, or had to have a PS4 Pro for a while before they patched it. But now it's been upgraded for PS5. It uses all the haptic feedback and shit. Oh yeah, and it's free if you have PlayStation Plus. That's another thing. It's like I was thinking a couple weeks ago, I should finally pick up Control. I don't have a game to play, and then it was just free. So it's great. I like it a lot. It's super fucking weird, really trippy. I don't think you guys have read the books, but like, do you know? So like, we've all seen Annihilation. The Annihilation book is the first in a trilogy. The first book, called Annihilation, is a lot like the movie in terms of how it feels. The plot is a lot different, but like, it's the same basic genre. The second book, Authority, is a completely different idea of a story. It's the same plot basically, but it's a different setting, different characters. It's told from third person instead of first person. I don't know. It's a really good book. This feels exactly like this. This whole government agency with just otherworldly cosmic horror shit going on like it's everyday business. It's fucking wacky and freaky. And the character that you play as, Jesse, talks to you as the player, but like it's definitely not like canon that she's talking to you. That's the device. She's talking to somebody, and we don't know who, at least not yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm assuming that'll be a reveal.
Yeah.
Interesting. I can't think of what's the term you used? Something, was it eldritch horror or was the
Cosmic horror?
Cosmic horror. I can't think of that without the funhouse. Oh, it's too spooky.
Yeah.
If I told you about it, you'd go crazy. Oh, it's so spooky.
No, but like I'm honestly like, I dig that shit a lot. Like not the H.P. Lovecraft way of like, ooh, you can't describe it. Ooh.
Don't look at my cat's name. Oh, it's too spooky. I can't even say it out loud, or something bad will happen. Ooh.
But like, the gameplay is really good. It's super smooth. It's a really cool concept of like, yeah, you're basically just this girl who is trying to ask questions with the government and gets superpowers because I don't know, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name? Commissioner Gordon from The Dark Knight.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, Gary Oldman killed himself. So now you're in charge.
Does he look like Commissioner Gordon? Because Gary Oldman is a fucking chameleon.
Yeah.
That man just blends into whatever role he's in. Like,
he looks a little bit like Commissioner Gordon.
Okay.
He's got that basic.
Sometimes
look.
it's hard to identify him because of how much he just blends.
He's got the glasses and the mustache.
Okay, so yeah. I can see why you went with Commissioner Gordon versus like Sirius Black or the villain from.
He plays Sirius Black.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's a chameleon, man.
Holy shit!
He literally blends in. He fucking Winston Churchill. Like he does shit. It's
right.
Crazy.
Ryan, during your red carpet spotting with the policy, if you just couldn't place somebody we'll say that's Gary Oldman. No one will know. They'll never know.
They won't tell the difference. Gary Oldman's in character on the red carpet. He wasn't nominated. He just showed up like this. Who was that? Was it Hannibal Buress? I think Hannibal Buress might have paid someone to go to the Emmys as him and just be very obviously not Hannibal Buress and see how many people went along with it. I don't remember if it was Hannibal Buress, but it was someone like Hannibal Buress, and it was fucking gold. Like,
well, fantastic, Andrew. Let us know how everything goes in Control. Over the weekend, I watched the 2017 movie The Death of Stalin, which is a very interesting film to watch now that we are out of the Trump administration, to realize that, hey, our government was kind of being run like this for a while. And then also, if the rumors about Putin's declining health are true, realizing that Russia is kind of staring down a similar situation once again.
Woo.
they always are.
Yeah.
I mean, but Stalin is a bit more iron-fisted than Putin. We can say that at the very
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putin's got problems. He's got human rights violations up the wazoo. But
Stalin is on another level.
Stalin was on some Hitler level.
Stalin's on the podium. Like you look back at like who are the worst leaders of the last 200 years. Stalin's at least on the podium.
There is a scene in the movie where Stalin's circling the drain at this point, and the rest of his council members are kind of talking and kind of figuring out what they're doing next. And one of them throws out, "Yeah, we could probably like dial back the arrests, right? And the killings. Like we could do that now." And it's very clear when all the other characters start agreeing with him that none of them feel particularly bad about doing that, but all of them realize this is just too much.
It's not sustainable.
No.
Yeah. We're doing this for our own reasons.
Look, we all love a good execution, but I mean, at some point, you gotta have your fill.
Yeah. We're really hitting the point of diminishing returns with these political prisoners. I mean, at a certain point, it's just not adding many utils.
We're running out of bullets.
It's economies of scale.
And yeah, this movie is brilliantly cast. Steve Buscemi plays. I just want to make sure I'm doing Nikita.
I thought it was Stalin.
What?
I thought you were going to say Stalin. No, Khrushchev.
No, yeah. He plays Khrushchev,
Stalin.
and it's because nobody's doing an accent in this movie. Nobody's like putting on Russian airs or anything other than kind of how they dress. It's just kind of Steve Buscemi being Steve Buscemi for the entire movie. And
Khrushchev's kind of jolly.
Yeah, no.
Right?
He doesn't look at all like Khrushchev.
I was going to say, Khrushchev's kind of a big boy, if I'm not mistaken.
in his younger years, a little more trim.
Okay,
This was right
that's
after
fair.
Stalin died. He was old as fuck.
And then he was around for
I'm
another
looking at
decade.
I'm looking at pictures of Khrushchev and Stalin together, and Khrushchev definitely had some meat on his bones, shall we say.
Fair.
Also, like, this was later in life. Khrushchev was leader after Stalin died until Khrushchev died, which wasn't that long.
Yeah,
It was about a decade, I think.
he didn't live a long time. But yeah, no, I mean, I picture... Steve Buscemi might be the person I think of when I think of a scrawny man.
Yeah.
Like, he might be in my dictionary, in my head... Scrawny man might have a picture of Steve Buscemi. next
Steve
to it.
Buscemi is how Timothy Chalamet's gonna look in 5 years.
That's like a thing on TikTok. Have you seen that? It's like me realizing that if I marry my boyfriend, I'll be married to an old white man in 40 years. And it's like, ooh, I feel that one. At a certain level.
And then the only other big thing I really want to shout out for this movie is just how it treats Lavrenti Beria, who was the head of Russia's secret police under Stalin, who was behind all of the killings. His entire arc in this movie is just, well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. Because he's the first to discover that Stalin is in the process of dying, and his immediate reaction is just to shore up as much power as he can so that he is okay and maybe he's the one to take over Russia. But then, of course, he just goes too far with it to lead to other people in positions of power retaliating against him. And the entire movie, you just think, you would have been fine, man, if you just, like, pieced out.
If you just kept killing.
Not even that. Like, just, like, nobody was going to really go fucking after him with everything going on. Nobody was going to try to split up the party unless fucking he didn't make wild moves.
Isn't that like everyone though? Like you're like, if you just pieced out right now, do you realize how good you'd have it? And you just can't.
If you sold when AMC was at 15 or 16, you realize how good it would have been.
That's not the same.
But and these were one of my favorite scenes in the movie is after Beria just essentially replaced the Russian army in Moscow with the secret police, like fully ousted the army. The head of the Russian army makes his appearance for the first time in the movie, and he could not be more disinterested in all of this. He very much is just a military guy who is bummed out that they're not currently in a war right now. But then he just shows
Military guy.
Yeah. But he just shows up, and his first line in the movie is, "Do any of you Nancys want to tell me why Russia's army isn't in Russia's capital anymore?" It's fucking great. I very much recommend this movie. Big Veep energy from it, if a little more macabre than Veep. But yeah, I had a great time with it. I wish it could be in
on my watch list.
Yeah. Wish it could be in
Wish
the
it could be in your
top
fucking.
chance.
Don't dare
No,
say it.
I want it. I can't though. Can't do it.
Dare say it.
Hard 2017 on this one.
Yeah. I shared a couple of pictures in the chat, going back to it, of Hannibal Buress. It was the Spider-Man Homecoming red carpet.
Oh my god. Yeah,
they keep using the term look-alike on the articles written about it. I think that's generous. In that they are bald black men, they look alike, but there's no other similarities whatsoever.
Those dudes are, quote, not Hannibal Buress. Like, that might be like how Hannibal Buress is like, you know what, I put the work in, got into shape, like, or, you know, maybe like 10 years ago if I'd really started taking care of myself, maybe, but no.
If there was a movie, like, straight out of Compton style, about the Eric Andre show, and Eric Andre, like, you know, dies early, so Hannibal Buress makes the movie, and a la Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, he makes the movie with himself as the, like, overwhelming good guy. And, you know, this would be who he would cast as himself. Like, really a good-looking, like, fit dude.
This is the best
Obviously
version
not
of Hannibal Buress.
Yeah.
Right.
And the second picture I just love because it has Hannibal Buress and like an official looking Spider-Man Homecoming graphic. And it's like, whoever made that graphic in theory works for the same company as the company that made the movie, and they should probably know what Hannibal Buress looks like.
It's just like, let's get all of the attributes of Hannibal Buress on the screen, but then just have the sliders in completely different places.
It's fucking crazy. I love it. And I love that it was Disney, too. There's something very poetic about the fact that he was willing to say fuck you to Disney.
Yeah.
Who you know didn't take this shit completely okay with it. Like,
this reminds me of a new thing that's probably going to be a trend for a day or two that Jade showed me today. Apparently Pinterest has a feature now where if you take a picture of something, it'll then pull up images, like similar images scrubbed from the internet of that thing. Now that works from a chair to a jacket to a human being. And so people have been taking pictures of themselves and seeing who Pinterest thinks they look like. Now, yeah, there's a lot of like just wacky shit that happens because of that. Jade took a picture of herself and it pulled up a lot of people from the internet, some celebrities, some just stock images that for the most part looked a fair amount like Jade. Every once in a while there were some that's like, man, that doesn't look like Jade at all. She took a picture of me and searched it.
I know where this is going.
And not only did it pull up every single white actor that I know and say that I looked like them, none of them looked similar to each other. So not only, for example, there was 4 people in a row, and not only did it say I looked like them, but it said they looked like each other. Of Timothée Chalamet, young Leo, old Alan Rickman and Daniel Day-Lewis.
Old Daniel Day-Lewis?
No, young Daniel Day-Lewis.
Okay, young Daniel. Something about old Alan Rickman
Yeah.
threw me a little bit.
You are.
I feel like it was kind of just having fun. It was
No,
throwing some shade.
they had Leo from pre-Titanic next to Alan Rickman from
Yeah.
I guess it was Die Hard, so not like old Alan Rickman.
Oh, I
but
was
like,
thinking Severus Snape. I was
no,
thinking
like
they put up a
40s.
picture of Severus Snape and
No,
said,
like
"Here's what you
40s
look
Alan
like,
Rickman.
man." And I was like, "They're throwing shade. Pinterest throwing shade."
Dude, you're just a perfect cross-section of all these good-looking guys, man. You got the best of all
Yeah,
of them.
but he's also saying that they look like each other. Is what the app was saying. That's the problem.
And but
That's the actual problem. Like,
no,
sure,
the
Andrew might
joke
share
there
features
is that
in
all
common.
white men look exactly the same because all of the Hemsworths, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Chris Pine were all next to each other there as well. None of them look alike and definitely don't look like me.
Some of them have features that you share. Chris Pine, nah, man. You
No,
don't look
I-
anything like Chris
Hey,
Pine.
hey, no, for ouch, but okay.
Ouch! I said
Buddy.
you had things in common with Jake Gyllenhaal and the Hemsworths. You
I don't
can't
like
look
Jake
like
Gyllenhaal.
every attractive white man, Andrew.
Well,
No, but they all look
You're-
the same.
some of them you're gonna
I
look
don't look
dissimilar.
like any of these attractive white men. Insofar as I
Jake
look.
Gyllenhaal and Timothy Chalamet, you've got some vibes coming.
guy-
Yeah,
out.
okay, fine, but all white men look the same. It's true.
You look the opposite of Chris Pine. If I had to cast the opposite of a doppelganger,
Okay.
as Andrew
You know what?
It'd be Chris Pine.
The only credit I'll give it is that with your hair right now, a little bit like the photo of him from the Disney Wiki. Little bit.
I disagree.
Similar haircut.
I think I look a little more
No.
like Chris Pine than I look like Timothy Chalamet.
I don't.
Jesus.
I know why
Also,
you want that
Chris-
to be true, Andrew, but it's
No,
not true.
see, Chris Pine is honestly, I don't think Chris Pine looks as good as people give him credit for. But like,
Wow.
Chris Pine is just he's a very white dude. He's a very, I guess, high tier white dude. He's maxed out some stats,
This is getting weird.
Andrew,
and I don't
I think
wanna get
Andrew's
into this.
spiraling a little bit here.
Andrew, I think you're tearing Chris Pine down right now so you can feel better about yourself, and I'm not okay with it.
Me saying I look like Chris Pine is not saying I'm attractive. It's saying Chris Pine is ugly.
I think you're saying that you look like Chris Pine.
No, I don't.
Because you
I
do.
don't look like Chris Pine.
Okay, you just said you look more like Chris Pine than Timothy Chalamet. Because you do want to be perceived as looking like Chris Pine, because you know that people do think Chris Pine is attractive, but then you're trying to seem humble about it by saying that Chris Pine's not attractive. You don't find him attractive.
No,
so
you
I
wanna-
don't have a high opinion of myself. But
No,
if
you want to know what it
have
is
a high
more
opinion-
than I want to look like Chris Pine? It's I don't want to look like Timothy Chalamet.
No, I know.
That dude is
I know that.
fucking scrawny. Holy
I know
shit.
that much, Andrew. I know that about you.
I am a
But what
skinny
I'm
guy.
saying-
I'm a scrawny guy. Let's be fucking honest. I'm a scrawny guy. Timothy Chalamet is fucking scrawny.
You probably weigh about the same as Timothy Chalamet.
I don't know that.
Timothy Chalamet's got some muscles on him, man. Muscle weighs more than fat. Like, I'm just throwing it out
That wasn't
there.
necessary.
Oh,
Even if he's physically like smaller in stature, you know he's working out 3 or 4 times a day. Like he's gonna be at least about the same weight.
I
as
mean,
you.
I saw him without his shirt on in The King. I don't know that.
Andrew,
Timothy Chalamet shirtless.
Andrew, I don't know how to tell you this, but you do not have Timothy Chalamet's cheekbones. I'm sorry.
Ew. Yeah, it depends on the role.
Yeah.
If the role requires him, he'll be cut. If the role requires him, he'll be malnourished.
He's not cut in any of these photos. He's just malnourished.
Wow. Shots fired at Timothy Chalamet.
I don't want to body shame.
You kind of are, though.
I
And by kind of, you totally are. You're saying, I want to be anything but Timothy Chalamet.
All right, this has kind of been the group chat already, so I say we do a clap sync and go into the wacky wind down. Beautiful. Just like Timothy Chalamet.
And not Chris Pine, according to Andrew. The mental gymnastics that you were going through.
The mental
to try
gymnastics that
to-
you're going through. I never said Chris Pine wasn't attractive. I literally
said
never
he's
said
not as
that.
good as people like put him out to be.
He doesn't have any
think-
discernible features.
His eyes are far apart.
He's just a good-looking... Okay.
He's got a bit of a Natalie Dorner effect. It's a real thing.
Okay. I haven't noticed.
Okay, look it up. They are. He's got a bit of a weird eye spacing, which once again, those flaws can be attractive.
Yeah.
Because like you said, when you have no discernible features, you're less attractive than someone who has some like flaws in specific places.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're symmetrical, basically. But yeah, no, I'm thinking that you were going through some mental gymnastics of you didn't want to seem conceited,
But I
by
wasn't.
saying that you compare favorably to Chris Pine, so you trashed Chris Pine to make it look like you were being humble. But we all know what you were doing.
This is a storyline you have made in your head. This is a character chart that you are writing out in the character of Andrew that you are apparently creating.
I'm min-maxing you.
Andrew, you were like...
I'm also a bully. I think that's a thing we established in this episode.
Okay. The first thing you did was make fun of me for nerding out, and then you start making fun of Lucas for mispronouncing a name. Yeah, you're the bully of the episode. I'm willing to say that I'm usually the bully. You were the number one bully in this episode.
Wow.
I should try it out
I'm
sometime.
definitely
It seems
like in a
fun.
tier of my own at number 1, and then Andrew, you're definitely number 2, and then Lucas is number 3 because he can't really talk. Like,
Oh,
Lucas doesn't come from a place of superiority ever because he acknowledges the problems with his own like fandoms and stuff. So he never can really be superior. And he likes it that way, and I appreciate that about him. Me and Andrew very much can come from a place of superiority because we really look down on things.
I'm sorry you guys aren't strong enough to admit that the things you like are garbage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or we like good things. Haha, bully mode. I'm
My
coming for
interests
you,
are
Andrew.
superior.
Yes. I'm coming for the crown. Next episode, watch out. Bully
On
Ron,
Dragon
go
Ball
for it.
Z.
Okay.
Let's wrap this shit.
Can I? I've been sitting on the Dorothy Mantooth quote the entire episode. Can I finally read it out and give my best champ kind impression?
Wait, can we do a read through?
Yes.
All right, we're send it, link it.
Oh wait.
And I'll be. You want to be Champ Kind, and I'll be Wes Mantooth.
Shit. No, I only have like the urban. Okay. Yes. Okay. That'll work actually.
Link it. Link it. Link it. Link it.
No, I'm trying. Okay. Here we go.
Wow, this is a struggle. I thought this would be quick. Sorry.
Well, it's off of Urban Dictionary and it's a long URL, so it doesn't like to highlight.
You just double
Just
click.
click it once.
Not always. I'm
Do you know that? If you click the URL bar, it automatically highlights the
He's
whole
just
thing.
dragging the mouse across the
I
whole
thought
thing.
that's-
Sometimes
is that
it
what
only
you're saying?
highlights a part of it.
Not on a URL.
I don't know. Weird. I'm sorry.
Okay. Moving on.
Are you ready?
Yep.
I will smash your face into a car windshield and then take your mother, Dorothy Mantooth, out to a nice seafood dinner and then never call her again.
Dorothy Mantooth is a saint. You understand me? Dorothy Mantooth is a saint.
That wasn't bad. You got that energy.
Maybe you should apply to be that anime voice actor.
Just do it, Andrew. Just shoot your
No.
shot. Just go
No.
for it. The worst they
That is
can do
not-
is say no.
There
Do
are
my anime audition read through.
Come on. You can get a demo reel together faster than you stitch a highlight for this podcast. Just go for it.
That's not true.
You do it. Tell us in the comments below if you want Andrew to apply for that anime voice acting job. But otherwise, thank you for checking out episode 130 of the Voluntary Viewing Podcast. If you like what you heard, like, comment, subscribe, etc. Leave a rating, leave a review. Also, be sure to send us your questions and business opportunities to our email, voluntaryviewing@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube, where we have full episodes on YouTube and then highlights on both YouTube and Instagram. Check out our Patreon and join the likes of the terrific Tiffany Cole, Sucky Badger, and sensual Richard Nixon. All of your funds go to help making this podcast better. And Honey Pop 2 finally came out, and if we get to $100 a month, we will play that game to completion. What does that mean?
Don't
Get us
say
there and find out.
No. Are we still doing phrasing? Guys, I'm fine if we're not doing phrasing anymore, but like someone has to tell me.
We are doing phrasing, and I was trying to do a phrasing right there. Thank you. As always, actually in the description down below if you want to help a collection of great causes. Follow me on Twitter at LucasDeRider for all of my writing. Got a lot of great stuff in the pipeline. And link in the description for the latest thing I wrote, which is a video essay about Jackie Daytona from What We Do in the Shadows and why I think I have thought about that character about once a week since that episode came out last May. All right, my voice is clearly waning. How are we ending this one, guys?
My voice is waxing! I'm continuing my anime demo reel.
That might be a title contender, actually. Holy fuck.
All right. I guess that's it.
Andrew, just make that a highlight clip.
Jesus, it's 1 second. We're not making a soundboard here. Although we could.
I think we have enough at this point.
You ask too much of me.
Yeah, Andrew, how's the soundboard coming along?
Andrew? Andrew.
Andrew.
Andrew, no. All right.
Turn this shit off.
We gotta stop, man.
Goodbye and good luck out there.
No! But you'll be fine. You don't need good luck for anything.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe.